My name is Rasine Hamilton and I'm a makeup artist. I actually own the company called Chic et Magnifique Makeup Artistry. Today I actually did a tutorial showing how you can highlight and contour. I explained that highlight and contour is different depending on your face shape. I also did a fun look that you can use to go to balls, go to a party, anything. It's summer, so I know everybody's going out. So I primed and moisturized her already. That's really necessary when you want to make sure that it stays. So even though this foundation looks darker than her skin, it matches her neck. And I'm just using a beauty blender, or any blending sponge would be good though. I also did her eyebrows already, which didn't take much. I just used her pencils. Highlighting and contouring is different for everybody. It depends on the face shape you have. She has a more heart-shaped face. I guess you could say it's smaller hair. It gets wide here and then it thins down back right here. So contouring for her, I would need to contour here. I add a little color up there just so that I can bronze her face. But if you realize I'm filling up her entire cheek with this, and then I'm going to go in with a deeper color. Now I'm just blending out the highlight and the contour. If something looks too bright, you can go over with whatever, or too dark, whatever. You go over that area with whatever you apply the foundation with. And I blend it upwards because you're trying to contour the cheek itself, not down here, you're trying to contour up here. So that the face naturally just looks slimmer. So you can see the difference with this side as opposed to this side that's not fully blended yet. Now I'm going to set each place, specifically under the eye, with powder so that it stays in place. You don't want your makeup to move or crease. Now if you're a person that doesn't apply makeup very neatly, you can always go over it with a comb or a brow mascara. So now I'm going to re-emphasize everything with powder. So it's a nice brown, but it's a very warm tone. And then to contour her, I'm going to use a cool tone. So it's not gonna have any orange. It's gonna be more blue toned or gray toned. So I'm going to use an eyeshadow. A fluffier brush would be good to contour, meaning not too small like an eyeshadow brush, but not too fluffy like a powder brush. So you can kind of control it still, but it's not too tight where you can't blend with it. Go back over with the bronzy shade, whichever brush you use. And you can use the same brush to do it. I'm just doing it so it's a little more precise at this time. But I usually use the same brush for everything on my cheeks. Now we're going to go to blush, and you can kind of use any blush you want. I just do my face before I do my eyes. But if you know you're somebody that you're not very good at eyes and it might fall out or something like that, in terms of the shadow might fall onto the skin, save yourself the trouble and do your eyes first. I like more natural tones on cheeks, so more bronzes and bronzy pinks or light pinks that kind of remind you of when somebody's naturally blushing. I'm also a fan of glowing. So I like when somebody looks a lot more luminous. So I usually use quite a lot of highlighters. And you have good highlighters out here. You might call them baked bronzers. I love this Milani baked bronzer. You have a whole lot of them. You have to be careful. If you're very oily though, I wouldn't highlight the whole face. I would just focus on the cheekbones. If you know you get oily on your cheekbones, limit it or mattify it before you do it. Just dampen the face so that I can actually highlight the cheekbones even more. Intensifies it. I'm going to move on to the eyes now. Alright, when doing your eyes to go out, it's good to prime, especially if where you're going is probably going to be packed or you know you're going to sweat. You want your eyeshadow to last just as long. So if you're priming your skin, prime your eyes as well. I can do an eye look with one brush, but it might, depending on which color you use first, it might be possible, might not be possible. I always use a blending shade, but if you don't have too many eyeshadows, one option that you can do is use your foundation and just blend it in really good with a brush, and it actually darkens the powder so it becomes a blending shade. So I'm using more warmer colors, that's my preference. But gradually build it rather than going in all at once, because you can always add more but you really can't take away. Another fun thing that you can do if you want to use color, because some people are really adamant on using color, my suggestion would be try and add color on the lower lash line. So what does that mean by that? Look up. So I'm just using a blue here, but you can use purples, any color that you think that you'd want. If you want to make a more defined wing, you could use one of those pens. I can show you how to use that too. These make it extremely easy to do a liquid line. Use a liquid liner, but get the angle, because it's just like using a marker or a pen. Can't open your eyes, I can see. So now you see the wing. That's quite an extreme wing. A good idea of where to make your wing go is towards the eyebrow. So I'm actually going to clean this up and take it off a little bit. But if you look on this, it's right towards the eyebrow. You also can look at where your upper lid, your bottom lid actually ends right here. So just go in that direction as well, which is generally to where your brow would end. If you want to lift your eye, it's good to do a wing up towards your brow or upwards, so it lifts your eye. If you have droopy eyes, so that's if you have downturned eyes. If you have almond eyes, which I think Alea has, you kind of can play around with it. You can really do what you want. You can go straight across, so that you're really not lifting anything, you're more like widening it. Or you can go upwards. I personally don't go downwards unless you have like more upturned eyes, like more like Asian eyes, where you'd want to kind of bring it down a little bit. But you wouldn't downturn it where it's obvious. Alright, I'm just going to moisturize her lips so that by the time I put on a lipstick on her lips aren't dry. But her lips aren't dry, but you know, some people lip dry. And then finally lips. So we're just going to rub in the lip chapstick, and then you would leave it like that if you want it to last a little longer. You could also use a lip primer. I'm kind of just adding dimension to her lips now. So I use a little lighter nude in the middle of her lips so that it looks plumper. I'm just going to go over with some more lip liner just to redefine. I'm just going to put a little gloss in the middle, and just a little shimmer, so it makes your lips look bigger, as I said. So I try to give as much guidelines as to what you should do or can do to make sure your makeup looks on point, your eyebrows on fleek, your makeup stays on point. So that, you know, you go to the party looking good and you leave the party looking good.